Okay, so I'm trudging along towards a spot I found last year that was amazing, and I hope I'm in the right vicinity. Pretty sure I am. I mean, eventually I'll reach the water or a road, then I could just triangulate. But wait till you see this. Hopefully it'll be foggy, but I'm a little late because I did other stuff instead of heading straight here. It is probably in the 50s. It's going to be 72 in a while. Last night it was 34 at my house, and here it was probably colder. I don't know. Okay, so you probably can't see this right now, but all along this this dead pitch pine is British soldier lichen and some cup lichens and actually several other species of lichen. Obviously, I really like lichen. Now, British soldier lichen are these, they're also known as red cap fungus, but it's not a fungus, or red coats, any of that kind of stuff. But it's basically always topped, or often topped with these little red, sometimes apple-looking things. This one right here looks like the Rolling Stone logo, you know, the lips for the band. But lichen's pretty awesome. Now, it's February right now. It's like a little later than mid-February, and I can already feel the temperature increasing. So, you know, I'm just walking about looking for stuff. Now, behind me is some, I guess, witch's butter or jelly fungus, and it's really cool looking. So I'm going to show that to you real quick. But British soldier lichen actually does have some medicinal properties, not exactly something you can obtain in the field, but it actually has some, you know, anti-cancer properties, and it's also known to help stop bleeding and some of those things, but you got to really research it. So check out this wizard's butter, or witch's butter, whatever you want to call it, you know, who cares? There's already several fungi about, you know, it's been rather damp lately, and the temperature's going up and down. It's gorgeous out, and it is dead silent. I heard 2 ducks a little while ago, and that was it. It is so quiet. Well, can't go that way, can I? Look at all that. So my car's way down there, like half a mile away. It's not that far, but I'm gonna have to go back through all this thick stuff. It took me a long time, but I'll just have to backtrack. You see this right here? This is wintergreen, and well, it's winter, and a lot of leaves are still green. Some of them are like a burgundy, but that's characteristic of you know, the species. However, look at the size of the berries. Now, I don't know if you know this, but it's also called tea berry. If you ever had tea berry gum, Wrigley's, you know, wintergreen anything, that's exactly what this tastes like. I mean, you know, it's got methyl and a little bit of, I believe, acetylsalicylic acid, I don't know. But it's got pain-killing properties. However, there are ways you can overdose on this. It'll slow your heart down so much you just don't wake up. But it takes like bags of it. And I'm not going to say how, though. But these things are delicious. Very refreshing. And being, you know, late winter, the berries are just huge and they are prolific. I love me some wintergreen. So I already shedded my first layer, which was my jacket. So it's definitely warming up. It's nice. It's gonna be warm. Sky's just starting to open up. And I see on some of these logs in the stream some sundews. So that's pretty cool. I actually always feel good when I see sundews. Okay, so I am in an Atlantic cedar swamp right now. I love these habitats. They are amazing. And but don't be taken by surprise. It's very easy to be turned around in one of these. And I'm not just talking about myself. I mean, these places are famous for people getting lost in them until well after sunset, and sometimes for days on end. It's a harsh environment because, well, there's a lot of specialist creatures that live in these habitats. You know, like the northern red salamanders and, you know, just some of the amphibians and turtles and stuff. And birds, they're somewhat barren, you know? It's very hard to sustain life in these. It's filled with wintergreen and sphagnum moss and, of course, cedars. But there's not a whole lot of other diversity in these habitats. And, you know, they're often filled with mosquitoes, you know, and spiders. Now, when the sun starts to set, or if it's middle of summer, like I said, they'll be filled with mosquitoes. And it becomes a harsh environment. It's not the kind of place you want to get lost in. And, you know, the trees are so thick, as you can see behind me. The soil is so nutrient poor, you know, and it's got filled with brackish water, you know, or just water's filled with tannic acid and all that, right? So basically, trying to walk about in these environments, you're often up to your ankles in water. Even if you're on the sphagnum moss, your feet are sinking in it, and often the water will seep out over your feet crystal clear because that sphagnum just filters it. You know, sphagnum's beautiful, these places are beautiful, but you can't get lost. And, you know, I gotta say, you can't let your ego get involved either. And I've taken, you know, a few people out here, and I've told them, you know, make sure you pay attention where you're going. And every one of them is like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, you know, it's nothing, I don't ever get lost. You know, have fun saying that when you get lost. You know, I'm rather confident myself about, you know, finding my way around, but I'm always on my toes, especially when I'm in a cedar swamp. It's no joke. It is not worth getting lost out here, especially after dark, because you're just plagued with mosquitoes and ticks, and you get soaked. It gets very hot and muggy in these environments because there's no, you know, wind circulation. And however, if you're a human being, they also obscure the horizon. You can't tell where north or south is. Often you can't see the sun. And every direction you turn looks exactly the same. Exactly the same, except for right here, because there's a creek there. And there's some pine needles over there. Anyhow, I got a video on Atlantic cedars coming out this year, and mosquito. There's a mosquito, and it is an Asian tiger mosquito in mid-February. Yay for mosquitoes. Hit like for mosquitoes. So obviously this is one of the areas I frequently visit when I'm in the region. I love the cedar swamp. My arm is killing me. But wait till you see, you know, a month from now, 2 months from now, what this habitat looks like. It is incredible, and it's nothing but cedar trees, you know, some of the ghost cedars, and sphagnum moss, just every direction you look. So check this out. You know what lives under here, right in that little cave? Nothing. Nothing lives in there. It just looks really cool. There's no like fairies or gnomes. So my goal today is for it to reach temperatures where I can actually walk around with either just a t-shirt or preferably no shirt. mean, there's nobody around for miles. And I really am craving that kind of weather, and I would love a sunburn. I've grown to actually like that sensation. But it's February. Yes, awesome. Just what I was hoping to find. How do I get out to this? Okay, so I'm literally holding on to this tree, but I found an awesome wetlands. This place is beautiful. It's just soaked in water. Wow, I actually reached one of my goals for a change, and that is the fact that I'm just wearing shorts. I was really hoping to be able to get some nice weather and be able to do that. So, yay for goals. Obviously, I changed. It's really nice out right now. It feels like 70 degrees, if not a little higher. So I'm hoping to find some bladderwort, but I really don't think there's going to be any of that growing yet. So let's see. So I found another cedar swamp, and this one definitely looks like a permanent source of water, and it's rather dense with the cedars. I mean, like, there's tons of them growing in the water. And there's another beaver lodge, and I bet this is a good source for Utricularius. And in about a month or so, there'll probably be a ton of carpenter frogs, green frogs, leopard frogs, maybe even pickerel frogs. Actually, no pickerels. They don't like this type of spot. I'm excited. Definitely coming back here. I know in my heart that there's going to be another cold front or two coming in. Hopefully we'll get at least one snowfall. Our last snowfall was the beginning of, 22. You got to have a winter. Come on. I hate winter without snow. I'm not complaining about this weather. It is really bright over here. Typical sunshiny day. And, but right over here is the cedar swamp. And, take into consideration that the sun's in our eyes, but this is characteristic of a cedar swamp. They are rather dark, which is why all the foliage is way up towards the top. You hear that? That bird is one of the first harbingers of spring. It'll often start singing before the wood frogs, before the spring peepers, and both the male and female will sing a song. Simply music to my ears, not because it means spring, but because I just love the call of the red-winged blackbird. Mm. Okay, as soon as the sun got to the horizon, it started getting cold, so I changed back into my slightly warmer clothing. There's still red-winged blackbirds in this area, and but that about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Nothing real exciting, but I enjoyed my time out here on an unusually warm day in mid-February. So if you like this video, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Once again, I'm Chris Ignano. I'll see you in my next video.